I'm gonna tell you how petty I am. So the other day, a guy approached me. I was working, and he was like, he just struck up a conversation with me, and depending on my mood, I'm not gonna be rude, so I'll engage. You know, just depends on the direction it's going. So the guy was like, he pretty much was like, he said something. He said a term to me, and I was like, what are you talking about? I don't know what that means. I said, what is that? He was like, injections. Did you get injections? And I was like, what are injections? What do you mean? Like, in your butt. You know how some girls be getting them injections? Did you get that? And I'm like, wait a minute. What did you just ask me? So I started laughing. I said, I'm offended. I said, what the heck? I said, first of all, so he asked me that, and then he also went on to talk about how people have like surgeries to make them look like they have six packs and they small waist or whatever. So I could have like I didn't I wasn't gonna, like, this is how petty I am. I'm not telling you nothing. Like, I'm gonna let you think what you want to think. I don't even care. Like, I'm cool knowing that it's probably driving you crazy that you don't know, right? So I'm not about to tell you nothing. So my response to him was, I said, well, you a man. You supposed to know. You supposed to know by looking. You know what I mean? You should be able to tell what's real and what's not. You call yourself a man. That's what I said to him. And he was like, nah. He said, the only way I could tell is by touching. I'm like, I'm not about to. Like how I am, I'll be like, go ahead, Copperfield, but like, nah, bruh, nah. Like, I ain't about to let you do that. So I was just like, oh, okay. I said, well, I'm gonna call your wife and tell your wife that you ain't no real man because you can't tell. So, yeah, I'm taking your man card. That's what I told him. Yeah. And we joked a little bit more, and then he walked off, and then he I don't know, he probably thought about what I said. Maybe he felt some type of way because I said I took away your man card. But I said, dude, if I wasn't tired, I would be offended by what you just said. But like, I'm not. Oh yeah, it was three things. So he asked me that. He said something about the surgery on the stomach, and then he was like, he said something, and I was like, oh, my son, I don't know, my son like 20 something. And then he was like, so are you like 100% straight? Like, and I'm like, so these questions that he's asking me, that's already telling me that either he has these thoughts or he's sitting around with other people having a conversation and they're trying to figure out if I'm gay, if I'm bisexual, if I've had some type of plastic surgery done to enhance my body or whatever. So, like, I'm not about to answer them questions. I'm going to let you think what you want to think because I don't care at the end of the day. That's how petty I am. I'm not obligated. I don't have to tell you. I don't care, So, but, like, that's the thing. Like, I was thinking, I'm like, damn, dude. So, I'm like, dudes do that, too. Like, my experience. Because most of the jobs that I've had, people will always say that's a man's job, but it's not a man's job. You don't have to have a penis to do the job. It's just a job that's probably dominated by men. Like, a lot of things were decades ago, right? So that don't make it a man's job, right? Because I was doing it. So I've encountered, like, not all men feel some type of way about me doing the work that I'm doing. But there are some men who feel some type of way about me doing the work that I'm doing, but it's not their place because I'm not their woman. I'm not, like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, you worry about your wife and the girl you got at home and what you want her to do, and she's doing what you want her to do. Like, what I'm doing is none of your business. But a lot of those guys, what they would do is because, like, I'm good at what I do. And I've been doing what I do for a long time, which means I've developed skill. Like, I've been making money since I was, like, 7 years old, right? I've told a few people this, like, when I started out, like really working, get my hustle on money, like, I was selling fine china during the day to rich people, and I was unloading trucks at night. So I've had, like, multiple jobs throughout my life working. So, like, that labor stuff is nothing. Like, I've been doing this stuff for a long time, so I know how to handle I know what I can do. I know what I can't do. I know how to make things work for me. So, a lot of gentlemen that I might work with, like, today, they don't have the same work ethic that I have. My work ethic has been being developed since I was 7 years old. That's when my development started with my work ethic. So I'm going to be good. I'm going to be better at a lot of people, at a lot of things, just because I've been doing it for a long time. Whether you look at me and you see that or not, like, I don't know what people necessarily see when they look at me, but that's just what that is. But a lot of those guys, they would sit there and be like, oh, well, they were like, girls can't do this job. And then I come and do it. And they were like, well, she different. She gay. She must be gay. Or she she got kids. Oh, she bisexual then. So they do these things to make themselves feel better. They spread those rumors. They sit there and talk about that. And me, I'm petty. So I'm not about to clarify anything, because at the end of the day, it don't matter if I was or if I wasn't. This is work. This is a place of business. It's irrelevant. If you focused on your work, maybe, you can produce as much as I do, instead of sitting around talking, trying to figure out how I'm doing what I'm doing, because it's not that big a deal. You're making it a big deal. You're making it an issue. It's none of your business. You sitting here trying to justify my work ethic, and you're sitting here comparing it to your work ethic. I'm not doing it. You're doing it. So that's maturity, right? That's like a mature male would never feel threatened by a woman. Whether he felt like, he wouldn't even sit there and be thinking she's outperforming me, because if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you don't have time to measure someone else's performance to yours. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know how, you know what I mean? Because I'm not paying you no attention. Like, that's how that works. I was on the tube the other day, and I was listening to this lady, and before she got into her video, she was pretty much talking about how some people do jobs just for the material gain, and they're not necessarily thinking about everything that goes into the job, so they're not really good for those jobs. She spoke about how she's seen some therapists, and how there's some good therapists out there, and then there's therapists out there who are not good because they need to heal themselves. And I'm not going to say that I disagree with her statement, because she was pretty much speaking on her experiences. And it was her opinion that the bad therapists that she had sat down with were bad because they were holding on to baggage and they were damaged. So they were like not really able to relate or give you advice from a place of being healed, because they weren't healed themselves. And I've personally encountered those same thoughts. Different workplaces that I've been, there's people in positions that I don't necessarily think that they should be in those positions for several reasons. One, like a lot of them have that I've experienced are in those positions because of who they know. So that's not good, because that doesn't mean that they're deserving of that position. And so you put somebody in that position and they're only there because of who they know, which means they wasn't qualified, because there's a lot of people in positions that's not qualified, and people like cover up and doctor stuff to get them in there and keep them in there because they're not qualified. And I have my theory on why they do that. So they're in there, they might be there forever because they can't go nowhere else, because in real life they're not really qualified to go anywhere else. So they're going to do everything in their power to hold on to that position and that job. But the new people coming in, they assume that those people receive the same treatment that they did. And that's just off my experience. So besides being discriminated against, or some guys being racist or sexist, I think what a lot of them had in common was that some of them were in the positions that they were in. So they understood that this fake it till you make it culture that was like real heavy during the time periods when they got into the industry. So they assumed that people coming in after them has gone through the same process. So I started to realize, when I started to realize that that was like some of the things that was going on, I wouldn't get so upset because I understood that they were just ignorant. And I would like advocate for like, hey, put qualified people in positions. Stop putting people who you know. If you're gonna do the who you know, at least train them motherfuckers, because they fucking shit up, and y'all spend all this time, money, and resources to cover up their fuck ups, and then you want to like be on somebody like me for every little thing, and as soon as I make a mistake, you make a really big deal out of it. And my argument against any of these people has never been, oh, they're treating me too hard or whatever. It's just like, well, if you're gonna do all these things to me, you're gonna double check me, you're gonna make me show you over and over again that I know how to do something, then you should do that to everybody else. And the fact that you're not, like, I wasn't the one fucking up. I wasn't the one causing these issues. It was your son, it was your cousin, it was your in-law, it was your partner that you cool with. Like, they are the ones that's causing the issues. And you're spending money, resources, abusing your position within the company to cover up for them, and then to try to put the blame off on someone else. But yeah, like, we need to get away from that, or don't support stuff like that, because it's more than just fake it till you make it. It's more than just nepotism. You know, we live in these neighborhoods, in these cities where these plants, chemical plants and factories at. So when you have someone on the inside who don't necessarily respect the position that they're in, mainly because they only got the position because of who they know, they lack respect, they lack skill, they don't take things serious. They don't take things serious, and that's when accidents happen. And the accidents that they can cause to happen can cause the entire city to suffer. I live here. Like, even if I'm not working in there, like, I'm not okay with that, because I see what goes on, so I understand what's going on, you know? Okay, so thank you for tuning in to Aisha Speaks. I've been thinking about how I can, like, structure this, right? Because I'm always on this organization tip, but, like, I'm not going to structure this. This is just going to be a free-spirited channel, okay? I'm not going to have any one particular topic on this channel that I speak about, but I am going to speak to you. I hope that you can take from what I'm telling you and learn from it, or maybe benefit from it, or whatever. I don't know why you're tuning in. Maybe you're tuning in because you like the sound of my voice. Maybe you just want to get some ideas for your own podcast or your own stories that you want to write. I don't know. But however this channel assists you, then let it do what it do. Now you can tune in to the episodes. I plan on releasing at least one every week. That's what I'm going to try to do. I've never done that before, so I'm going to try that on this one, weekly, releasing one episode weekly. We'll see how that goes. All right. I appreciate your time. Thank you for stopping by. You have a great day.